Regular season, it's gone. The first season's over. It's time for the second season to begin. And, it's really is going to be a great postseason. A lot of good storylines. I'm not even going to talk about Week 17. I was busy this week. I started classes, so you know how things can be the first week of school. You're just trying to get acquainted and acclimated. And besides, in most of the games, like Dallas game and Green Bay game and all these different games, you had starters resting. It just isn't that interesting, and that's in the past. Let's just forget about that. And the postseason's here. First game start in 18 hours or so. I can't wait. As for the Atlanta game, I guess I'll throw a comment on that real quick. Offensively, it was our best game of the year. Even when the backups came in, they put up points in bunches. And offensively, it was our best game of the year. These last 2 weeks have been really good for us offensively. Defensively, it was, of course, our worst game of the year. I gave up 44 points. I was kind of disappointed. I wanted to see a little more out of the team, but sometimes it's just hard to work up the passion and fire when there's nothing to play for. But, I did see some things I liked. I saw some things I didn't like, but I'll take where we are. 10-6. Third seed. And this week we got Washington coming into town. And, I'm excited to see how things go down because, a lot of people are high on Washington. In the AFC, everybody's high on Jacksonville, it seems. They think that Jacksonville's, they're going to beat, they're the team that can beat New England. They're the team that could beat Indy, They're all jumping on them to come out of nowhere and win the Super Bowl. And over here in the NFC, we got Washington. People are jumping all over Washington. And, obviously they've won 4 in a row. They haven't turned the ball over, I don't think at all, over the last 4 weeks. All their 4 wins. They're playing some nice football, and, they're a good team. They got things together at the end, definitely. And, this is going to be a good game. It's at home, and I feel we can beat anybody at home. I think that if New England came up here to Seattle, which they will next year, but even this year, I think we could. I don't know if we could beat New England, but I definitely think we could give them a game at home because we just don't lose at home that often. So home field advantage is probably bigger for us than any other team in the league just because of how poor we are on the road. And, that's evident when you see all the false start penalties that other teams get and how loud things get. So, I'm excited. And, as for my thoughts on the game, I do feel we can come out of this victorious. I know, Washington's on a bit of a high right now. They've won 4 in a row. We've lost 2 or 3. But, looking at Washington, Todd Collins, obviously he's caught lightning in a jar over the last 4 weeks, but you're looking at a guy who sat on benches for the last 10 years or whatever. He's 38 years old, and this is the first time he's had serious starter time in maybe ever, in several years. The point is he's been backing up people for the last decade at least. And do you really feel comfortable betting on a quarterback who was a bench warmer for the last decade in Seattle? We don't get as much press as Mile High or Gillette Stadium or the RCA Dome, but we don't lose many games at home. Let me think. Ever since our stadium opened in 2003, I think we have 7 regular season losses at home and 1 playoff loss. So I can't add up how many wins we've had because obviously it's up there. But the point is we're very tough at home. And do you really feel comfortable taking the... I don't know. I wouldn't bet on a quarterback like Todd Collins on the road. across the country. And, Washington's obviously got momentum on their side, but there's a two-edged knife sword to that. They've basically been in the playoffs the last month. They've played their last 4 games thinking we lose and it's over. Our season is effectively over, and that can be wearing down. That can wear down a team. That's why home field advantage is as important as it is. So I do feel good about our chances. I like my chances with Washington. I wanted to play the Giants because I would have felt really confident about if we had to get Eli and Coughlin to come into Quest Field, we could really clean up. But I'll take it. I'd rather play Washington than Minnesota. And maybe I shouldn't say that because of what Minnesota did at the end of the year. It proved they weren't that good of a team. But I'm talking about the Minnesota that looked like they were going to make the playoffs. And And it's going to be a good game. And, well, unfortunate news, though. I'm probably going to miss the first 5-10 minutes of the game. Yeah, suffice to say that an opportunity to make some fast, easy money came up. And, got to have these priorities. So I am going to be in the car at kickoff, so I'm going to be listening on the radio. And I'm going to get home, 5 or 10 minutes going to be gone in the game, and I'll be watching intently for the rest of the afternoon, and it's going to be good. That's, I know I'm taking these long pauses, but you got to appreciate these playoffs because, there are great storylines here. We could see a team go 19-0 for the first time ever. We could see, Indianapolis, a team that everybody seems to love, pull it off again and get their second ring in 2 years and start forming their own dynasty. You got sleeper teams like Jacksonville and Washington. You've got Green Bay possibly taking it all in Green Bay, and Brett Favre getting to retire gloriously if he chooses to. You got Dallas returning to the top. It's just going to be a lot of fun, and there are some outcomes I'd like more than others, but no matter what happens, I can at least respect what happens because there's a good chance we'll be witnessing some kind of history. So my picks are, I will take Seattle. We're first up tomorrow at 1:30. I just like our chances. Washington's offensive line, it's been playing better lately, but it's still not as good as it should be. It's got some key injuries. I think our pass rush can get to Todd Collins, something that he hasn't been able to have to contend with much. And maybe we can finally force him into that turnover because he's been great at protecting the ball. But I think we can take care of business. The injury report for that game, by the way, is very clean, but what happened to Deion Branch? When did he get hurt? I don't like it, I think he got hurt in a meaningless game against Baltimore or Atlanta, and I hate it when that happens. We got receiver depth, but I really want him on the field tomorrow, so I just hope that he can get on the field, and I hear he will, but it's a bit of a toss-up, so I'm just hopeful. I got Jacksonville beating Pittsburgh. In spite of the score, and the score was pretty close in that game, admittedly, I do think Jacksonville effectively managed to dominate Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago, and I don't think much has changed since then, so I'm taking Jacksonville. I got Tampa over New York. If you look at all the things that the Giants are going to have to put up with Eli Manning, we all know that his struggles late in the season generally. You got a second-string center that's just asking for fumbles on the quarterback-to-center exchange. You got Tom Coughlin, kind of a poor man's Marty Schottenheimer, if you see what I mean there. And with the Bucs, they're at home. They got a great defense. They got, of course, I'll take Jeff Garcia over Eli Manning any day. I think the Giants put up a fight, but I'm pretty sure Tampa takes this. And, Tennessee's got to be the ultimate I'm just happy to be here team because they just lost their number one tight end and number one receiver, and I'm amazed they got into the postseason. And good job to them because they did take advantage of Cleveland slipping up at the end and take care of business against the Colts backups. But with all their injuries, and Vince Young might not play, and Roydell Williams and Bo Scaife, they're not going to play. I think they're just happy to be there, and I think San Diego at home is an extremely good team. I think San Diego takes care of business and wins relatively big. And LT gets the first playoff win of his career. So that's my picks. Go Hawks. I'll be watching and just hoping we can come out with a victory, and we can have a good time this postseason no matter what happens. So see you guys later.